let us actually begin. When we are actually trying to go and achieve the objective, we must always start analyzing what kind of SQL that we need. The SQL that we need is definitely going to be involving the select statement. And the select statement is definitely something to do, like for example the student ID, the full name, and maybe just the mobile contact from the student table. So this is actually basically a simple select statement in order to go and retrieve the student ID information, the full name information, and the mobile contact information from the student table. Most of the time in web application development, when you are actually testing the SQL, you must actually decide what kind of information you intend to push to the web page. Those information that you intend to push to the web page will decide what SQL you need in order to retrieve. So assume that I intend to go and display student ID, full name, and mobile contact only on the web page. Therefore, I will use this SQL. So I've already tested the SQL, and the SQL is definitely going to work. I will quickly shift my attention to the Visual Studio.NET environment. I have already prepared a simple empty web application project having the project name called Experiment Display Data using AJAX technique. Then, of course, I will definitely need to go and use jQuery library. But you notice that this project does not come along with a jQuery library. So basically, I will actually try to go and create a new folder here first, and the folder is actually going to be called scripts. Okay, then I will usually visit the jQuery website, which is jQuery.com, and I will intend to go and download the jQuery library. So I will just quickly download the compressed version 1 using the jQuery version 1.11.1. So right now I will actually retrieve the file, and I will just try to go and cut this file, and I will intend to go and paste it inside the scripts folder. So I will create a new folder first, add new folder, and this folder I'll just put js-1.11.1. Then I will place the jQuery file inside. The reason why I actually have this js-1.11.1 is because so that I will know that what is residing inside this folder is actually the jQuery library version 1.11.1. That's all. Okay, so I have already prepared my jQuery file already. Right now I would like to go and install it on a web page. So I will just add a new web form, and this web form I will just have a name called FRM experiment display student data using AJAX technique. The reason why I actually prepare such a long file name is because I don't want to forget what was this web form for, because these are just basically experimentations so that we can appreciate what are the code involved and what are the files that needs to be built. Okay, so I've already prepared the jQuery, and right now I would like to go and install this jQuery library into the head section. So you notice that I drag and drop the file onto here, and a script tag is actually being created to point to the JS file. This is the JS file, right, which is residing inside this folder directory. Okay, after doing so, this is also my another habit. I will try to go and rename the ID of the form tag to FRM data. Basically, right now, I've already prepared the web form, but I'm not going to do any further in the presentation file of this web form. Right, this is the presentation file. Okay, this is the presentation file. What I would like to go and focus on is still the C# layer. In other words, the business logic layer. Normally, I will focus on the business logic layer because just now I've already tested the SQL. So I need to go and create a new folder, and this new folder is going to be called student management dot domain. So it's just a simple folder so that I can actually add. I would like to go and add a new item, and this new item is actually going to be a simple class file, and this class file is actually going to be called student manager. Okay, so I'm actually creating a student manager class file. So this class file is actually going to have several important methods, but for this experimentation, since I'm actually focusing on retrieving information from the database and push it to the browser, the client, obviously I will need something called get, let's say all student. Let's just say that I'm just going to blindly retrieve all the student records. So of course I will give a meaningful name to the method called get all student, but usually in normal web application development, you rarely display all the information from the table in a web page. It is not a usable web form at all. Okay, so right now I will actually try to go and create a method, but of course this method needs to have a public in front, and because it's going to list out a list of students, so I will need to go and get the list in. And since I have not declared any entity class such as a student class, I will use a generic one called object. So this method is capable of returning a list of objects, and all these objects, one object will store one student information, one object will store one student information. Okay, right, I want to go and return a list of objects, right? So then this is actually a generic data type. So why is it complaining? It's complaining because I did not have a return. You notice that so it's just a Visual Studio.NET way of telling me that, hey, you must remember to go and return something to the calling program. So normally here I will actually just declare a simple list object. Then after that I'll just put this one as student list. Okay, then equals to new list object. Then I'll just open the bracket and close the bracket. So this is how I create a new empty. I'm actually just creating an empty list of object. And what is the name of this empty list? It's called student list. So in order for the Visual Studio.NET not to complain, I'll just here put return student list. Okay, so you notice that the Visual Studio.NET does not complain anymore. Now, in order to go and connect to the database, I already got the SQL. What is the SQL? The SQL is found here. So this is the SQL. So I'll just copy this SQL, and then I'll go back to the Visual Studio.NET. I'll just prepare a string and name this variable as SQL text. And within this string, I'm actually going to paste the SQL syntax. So this is a very simple SQL syntax. If you want to, if the SQL is too long, okay, maybe you would like to go and have this SQL text plus equal, right? Plus equal also can, right? Let's just say this one I put from student here, right? Probably you intend to go and push more information to the web page. As a result, you have more fields. So this one is maybe very lengthy. You can break this down into two. So the first one is just having a variable, right, to go and store the first portion, and this is the second portion. But when it because this is the plus equal, means that I'm combining the information into this variable. But at the same time, you notice that this SQL will lead into problems because I must remember to space it here. Because after joining, right, you notice that the SQL that is being constructed will become something like this. Okay, this is the outcome. So this is not a valid SQL. You need to have a space. That's why here I must remember to go and give a space. Okay, so but normally my habit is that I will have two-side spacing. So but a string variable that contains the SQL cannot be sent to the database at all. So basically I will need some classes to help me, but before I can use those classes, I must remember to go and provide this namespace, which is the system.data, and another one is system.data.sql client. And at the same time, you notice that my web.config, I already got the connection string, and this connection string is not pointing to the correct database. This one should be web a underscore student management db. So I'm providing it here right now. So the connection string is actually inside here, and sooner or later I need to use the C# code to read it into this environment here, because this is the code that I'm developing inside the student manager class, right? Basically the next thing I need to go and have is using system dot web dot configuration. Okay, so this is actually another namespace. So first thing first, right now these are the commonly seen code. This section here is that in this section here I'm just preparing the data related objects that will help me to what? To number one, connect to the database. I need to go and connect to the database. Number two, I need to send the SQL to the database, right? Number three, I need to prepare a storage. I need to go and prepare a storage in order to store the information retrieved from the database. Prepare a storage to store the records obtained or sent back from the database, right? From the DB. Then another one, finally, I will actually need to copy, right? I need to go and copy all these records, records inside the storage, right? Inside the storage into a list. Why? Because the method is returning a list. Okay, so basically this is actually the most important segment, right? So I'm just writing something here so that I can remind myself that this is my purpose. So let us begin. First, I need to go and complete the part 1, right? Oops, let me actually try to make this one nicer. Okay, I need to go and complete part 1. So in order to go and start doing the part 1, I will need the connection object, right? The connection object is derived from the SQL connection class object. So this connection object conn equals to new SQL connection. Now what does the connection object do? It helps me to connect to the database. But I need to go and tell the connection object where is the database by supplying the information into its connection string property. Right? Means that I need to go and supply the connection string information into the connection string property. But the information is right now located inside this connection string, portion. This is the information. And the name of this information is called web A connection string. So I need to go and tell the Visual Studio.net or the C#, say, hey, you better read it from that. So here I'll just put configuration manager. Is it configuration manager? I forgot. Okay, configuration manager dot. Nope. Let me try again. Configuration web configuration manager dot what? Connection strings. Then after that, I'll just put web A connection string. Why is it web A connection string? Because that is what I've used inside the web.config. Right. So is this going to help me? Let me see. Connection strings seems like it should be. This is should be the thing. So I'll just what? ToString. Okay, I'll just try the ToString here. Okay, let me see. Is it working? I hope so. Right, then of course, how to go and open the database? There will be a portion here whereby I need to go and tell the connection object to what? Okay, I've already given you the connection string. You better learn how to go and open the database. You better learn how to go and close the connection to the database. Right, so this is open and this is close. When you open, what do you need to do? You need to go and send the SQL, right? And then when it is open, what do you need to do? You need to retrieve the information from the database, right? Means that what are the information you need to go and retrieve from the database? You need to go and retrieve the student records. These are the student records that you are aiming for, right? These are the student ID, full name, and mobile contact that you intend to show on the web page. So basically right now I just open and I just close. Okay, I just open and I just close. Right, then what I'm going to do is that I just need to go and get some object in order to go and store the SQL. Right, how to send the SQL after it is open? You cannot send like that. So I need to go and create a command object. CMD equals to new SQL command. So I've already prepared a nice command object. Why the new keyword? Why new SQL command? Why new SQL connection? This is how I activate it. This is just declaring it, you know, creating a human but with no soul. So this one is what? New SQL command. Okay, right now it has a soul, I can use it. So right now the CMD command text, I'll just provide the SQL text. This is the variable that stored the SQL just now here. Okay, so right now the command object got the SQL. I need to go and tell the command object that, hey, you better use the connection object that I've prepared. So this is how I did it. So I assign the connection object into the connection property that belongs to the command object. What about this one? I assign the SQL statement, which is residing inside this variable, into the command text that belongs to the command object. So after doing this, of course, my SQL should be able to send the data to the database. But after sending to the database, I got another problem. The database will be able to give me all this information, but I need a storage in order to store this information. So when you talk about storage, immediately what you should think of, storage. What is the storage? Right. Better be a data set. I will need a data set. So this data set equals to ds new data set. So I'm creating an empty data set. Okay, right? So I have a data set here, right? So I've already prepared data set. But data set, you know, when you buy a book can be written, but you still need a pen, right? So SQL command does not do the writing of the information to the data set. SQL command, this command object does not do the job in writing information into the data set. That's why you will need a data adapter. Okay, and this data adapter I'll just call as DA equals to new SQL data adapter, right? So this data adapter is very special. This data adapter, I need to go and tell the data adapter saying that, hey, data adapter, you better remember to use the command object, because the command object got the SQL. If you are in charge of storing the data, right, means that the data adapter is in charge of storing the data. But before store the data adapter must tell the command object to send the data first, So I need to go and assign the command object into the select command. So you notice that I'm assigning the command object into the select command property, which belongs to the data adapter. So how do I actually fill up the storage? So this is the send SQL, right? This is the retrieve the information from the database, right? What is the third part? The third part is prepare the storage and store the records from DB. So all these, right? All these are actually going to happen. Send the SQL, retrieve the information from the database, prepare the storage and store the records obtained from the database, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. All these are going to happen between the connection open and the connection close. So I'm going to tell the DA dot fill the DS, and after filling up, please remember to provide that these records are grouped under the name called student data. Right. So when I call the fill method that belongs to the data adapter, what I'm telling the data adapter is that, hey, data adapter, you need to tell the command object, send the SQL. When I call the fill method, right, already the data adapter know what to do already. You will know that it needs to go and tell the command object to send the SQL to the database. Database will receive the SQL. Database will give you all this information. After giving you all this information, right, got another problem. The data adapter need to go and do the second job, retrieving the information and store it inside the DS. So DS, you can think of DS like a book. So when you write an information, you don't write on the whole book, You only write it on the maybe the first page of the book. So the page also needs to be given a name. And why is the name that I've given for this page is called student data, so that next time when I flip the book, I can actually flip the correct page. Okay. So after it has done its job, I close the connection. Why I close the connection? Because it's time for me to go and say bye-bye to the database, saying that thank you for all the information. All the information are right now inside the DS. Does the DA, which is the SQL data adapter, store the information? No. This command object, right? This command object was told to store the SQL. This command object was told to use the connection object, right? So in other words, when I open the connection, right, the DA was told what? The DA was told to use the command object. The DA was told to tell the command object to send the SQL. Send to where? Does the command object know where to send or not? It knows. Why? Because I've already told the command object to use the connection object, so it will know that when send, right, you better use the door that is opened by the connection object to send the SQL, because this SQL will slowly float to the correct database, right? What if without that connection object information, right? Wow, the SQL I think can go to this database, it can go to anywhere. We also don't know, but my connection string has already stated so that it must touch the what? It must touch down on the SQL must reach the web a underscore student management DB. Okay, so these are the important information, right? So these code here, right, they are actually all standard code. You see in, day out, you use it often. It is that SQL here, right, that is rather important. You must know what are the results written by the database. Right? You cannot blindly continue any coding here right now. Here, right, you want to go and continue code, right? I tell you, if you don't even test your SQL and know what are the records returning, right, your this code here, a lot of problem. Okay. Right now, I need to go and prepare a list. How to prepare a list? A list is like just a list. I just want to go and prepare a list. Right? Right now, how to say a list? A list, I just type in Excel. A list is just something like basically it is like the list should have something like this, right? If I copy this here, I use the Excel spreadsheet, then I paste, right? So the list, right, if let's say that the database return you only this set of records, right? So the list will contain object 0. The list will contain what? Object 1. The list will also contain what? Object 2. The list will also contain object 3. The list will also contain object 4. The list also contain object 5. So in other words, right, the list is actually just a collection of objects. But of course, the first object is numbered as 0. The second object is numbered as 1, blah, 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 blah. But you cannot just store all this information like that anyhow inside the object. So definitely this one, I need to go and tell the object, say, hey, this one is actually the student ID hall. So you must have, hey, object, this one is actually the what? The full name hall. Okay, I need to go and tell the object, hey, this one is the what? The mobile contact hall, right? So I actually put here. You see, so this is the concept. When I'm coding already, this one is running in my mind. So as a learner, right, what you need to do? You need to go and write it on a piece of paper. Thank you very much. Write on a piece of paper what you intend to build. What is the list that you want to go and build? You stare at the screen here, no point one. Okay? So right now here, I'm going to create a variable called, let's say, but I need to go and copy row by row, you see? I need to go and copy what? Row by row, right? Actually, when this code is running, right? I tell you, this DS, inside the DS, right? You will have all these information. But inside the DS, right, you don't call these as records. You call this as data row. Inside the DS, inside the student data results. So this is the name. This is the student data results. See this one here? This one is the student data results. So because it's the name of the results given. Okay. So inside the student data results, the first row is data row 1. Second row is data row 2. These are the data row, right? So this is the first data row, second data row, third data row. So we refer it as data row inside the DS. Okay, DS is the data set. right? Data set, and then data set. See here or not? Yes, data set. I declare it's a data set. Okay. So I need to go and use what? For I need to go and use important keyword called for each. For each what? For each data row dr in what? In the ds dot tables what? Tables the student data I must match. Okay. Right. Then dot rows. Right. So then after that open bracket, I go and close bracket here because a looping is involved already, and I always have a habit of putting end of for each. And here also I need to go and be careful. This one I need to go and put an end of what? Get all student method. Okay. So this one is what? Why I put for each data row? So what will happen? How many times? So if here got code, if here let's say that these are all the code here, right? The code here is actually supposed to what? The code here is supposed to copy, right? Copy what? Copy all the information from here, right? One by one into this format, because this is the list. So this is the list. What is this list? This one is the student list. Okay, right? This is the student list. So I want to go and copy from one format, which is this one. This one is the student data results, right? This is the student data results, and this one is the student data results, and this one is the student list. So wow, how one by one we have to go and do one by one. If only I can actually just equal do like that can, but unfortunately it won't be. In other words, if only I can put what? Student list equals to what? Equals to ds dot tables, right? Then after here I just put student data, right? Right. Then after that what? All the rows. I want all the rows. Okay, all the rows. If only I can do this one line, settle everything. If only I can do it, but unfortunately that won't happen. This is not how we can code. So this one is what? This one is gg.com. Okay, so this one is gg.com. This one cannot cannot, okay, cannot, right? No choice. No choice. We need to go and use the for each row by row. So assume that the results actually came back, say up to row 7, right? Let's say that there are only 7 records, so up to row 7. So as a result, right, this data row here, so what is this? This one will be, so in other words, if let's say I tell you, hey, ladies and gentlemen, can you mentally picture what is this or not? Right. This one is actually accessing all the rows that belongs to the student data results, right? Inside the tables collection which belongs to DS. So if I want you to mentally picture, what is this? Can mentally picture or not? This one is this law. Okay, the whole set, all these things. You see, this one is results, man. You see, results. Okay, right. Just say, what is the name of these results? Is student data. Can or not? Student data. Okay. So right now, what is this for each dr data row dr for? So I'm declaring a variable. This variable must be having a class called data row. Why? So that if there are code here, all these code here will execute 7 times. If the results here got what? 7 rows. Why? During the first pass of the loop, the dr will represent the first data row inside here. During the second pass of the loop, the dr will represent the second data row inside the results here. Okay or not? Right? If cannot, please replay. So, but what I want the results for? So in other this one here, you see dr. Then after here, I'll just put let's just say I want student ID, okay. Then after that here, so but this one nothing, but this one is just so when I put something like this, right? What is the purpose of this? This one means that I want to access because during each pass of the loop, dr will represent row by row. One row only. So during the first pass of the loop, right? Roger, this Roger, right, will be treated by this thing here. This one will give me Roger. During the first pass of the loop, this will give me Roger. During the second pass of the loop, this one will give me Mary. During the third pass of the loop, this one will give me Elaine, something like that. Okay. So, but of course, Roger for what? So it's time for me to go and build the list. How to go and build the list? Aiyo, this list, right, is going to be first I need to go and build the object, So object, right? No. So right now here, have I declared any object? I did not declare any object. So I'll just here put one first. Object student. Okay, object student. Yeah. So this one is just a simple generic object. It can be anything. So here I just tell that I want to go and create a student equals to a new object. But a new object, right, is actually, so right now this one, right, I need to go and say, hey student, this object is actually going to hold certain information. What is the information? This one I put it inside first. Okay, right. It will hold. Let's just say this one is what. This one I'll just put. Let's say student ID. Student ID. Then after that, colon. Yes. Right. Then after here, I'll just put comma. Cannot. Cannot. It says that got problem. Right. So this one should be equal. Then after that, let me try again. Another one, student. Then after this one is what? Full name. Full name equals to what? Dr what? Dr. Then after this one, I'm just going to put full name dot to string, comma. Then what is another one? It's called mobile contact, right? Mobile contact. Mobile contact Dr. Then after this one is mobile contact dot to string. Okay, but how come got a lot of problems on? Ayo, is it because of the semicolon? Looks like not leh. Right, what is it? Expected semicolon. Wow, expected semicolon. I thought I'm creating an object. An object is, the starting is actually the curly braces, what? Everything is all okay, what? Wow. Immediately, right, I suspected one thing, object ma, right? If you want to go and use it, what do you need to do? New ma. So I just what? New? Can or not? Also cannot. Seems like can, then after that cannot. What about this one? Oh, because I forgot the equal sign. Equal sign. So in other words, right, so you notice that this new thing, you have to go and use, you notice that, new is just to, like new piece of information, new life, new. So what is the curly braces? What does the curly braces mean? Right. So in other words, right now, I'm actually creating an object, and this object actually got how many attribute name? A student ID, full name, and mobile contact. So these are the attribute name, and this is the attached value. The attached value will be placed here. So how does this work? What will happen when this for each actually occur? What will happen? What will happen is that let us actually slow motion. So during the first pass of the loop, what is dr? Ask you. During the first pass of the loop, what is dr? Dr is this. Okay. If dr is this, meaning that this one will be what? This one will be treated as. This one will be treated as. This one will be treated as 1, and this one will be treated as. This one will be treated as Roger. This one will be treated as Roger, right? Then what about the mobile contact? This one will be treated as. This one will be treated by the C# engine as this 95021155. This is a mobile contact. So then, what is the whole thing doing? The whole thing here. I'm creating a. So in other, this one will be treated as. This one will be treated as 1. Then this one will be treated as Roger, correct or not? So this one will be treated as Roger. Then what about this one? Wow, the mobile contact I can't remember. Let me actually just see whether I can copy or not. Yeah, I can copy. Okay, so the mobile contact could be something like this. So you notice that right now I'm actually just creating a student object, and this student object, right, consists of the student ID value of 1, the full name value of Roger, and the mobile contact of this one. So after I've created already, right? Where is it going to be placed? It will be grouped under the list. But how to group? You need to go and put it inside the group, So how to go and put it inside the group? I already got the student list here already, so it must be inside the loop, It must be inside the loop, okay? Student list dot what? Dot add. Add how many? Add what? Add this student object in. So this is how I added in. So if let's say that there are 7 data rows, if there are 7, here got how many? Here got a lot, right? Assume here got 20 lah. Assume here got 20. If here got 20, meaning that this one will execute how many times? 20 times, right? 20 times. Copy over, right, into this student object. Then after that, I'm actually adding it into the, what I'm doing, I'm actually adding it into the student list. Okay, then I return the list. So have I finished working on the, so in other words, this one is, so what is this portion here? This portion here is actually doing this job. Copy all these records from the storage into the list, right? So this is actually the job that I've done. Okay, and this one, I've already done the major portion. So just a revision, these are just configuration code. Connection object, prepare it, tell how the connection object suppose where to connect, read from the web.config. I declare the command object to store the SQL, but I also need to tell the command object, hey, use the connection object. But you cannot here put what dot use what connection. You cannot put like this, man. You have to go and use the correct property. That's why we have to go and read all those documentation so that we know that, oh, this is how we tell the command object to use the connection object by assigning it into the connection property. Or this is how we tell the command object to use the SQL by assigning the variable into the command text property that belongs to the command object. And what is this one? Oh, this is calling the method. This is a method. I'm telling you to do something, to open an active connection. Oh, this one is actually to go and close the active connection. Must read one. Right, as if, okay, read lah, right? So what is this student data? Student data, please, you retrieve the information is put inside the result. Just that when we are working in C# environment, right, the result, you must give it a name called student data, or else how can C# find back the information for you, right? So everything all here done. So in other words, what have I done? I've already settled the business logic layer. Ooh, I've already settled the business logic layer. So of course, right now it is time for me to go back to the code behind file of the web form. So you notice that I'm going for the code behind file of this web form. Now, before I do anything, right, of course, I'll be interested to know whether or not my this get all student is working or not. Correct or not? I need to go and know whether my this get all student is working. How am I going to test? I just quickly here. Maybe I'll just prepare. I'll go to the presentation file. I prepare something first. Div id equals to div test. Okay, so now later I will delete it. So I'll just test the water first. I'm just creating an empty div server tag. I'm creating an empty div server tag, and what I'm going to do here, I want to go and create a student manager class object. Right, you cannot student manager class object. So this is what I'm going to create. But how come is, notice that how come when I'm actually creating this one, right? How come got problem? Of course, because I need to. So you notice that I click on the student manager class. I slowly move over here. Then I saw this funny icon here. Then there's this thing called using. I need to go and specify the namespace. Notice that right now the namespace is inserted up here. The namespace is inserted up here. Okay, right? So I'm creating the student manager class object from the student manager class. So what is the name of this object? It's called student manager. In other words, that when this happens, right? When this happens, all the code here, all the code that I've coded inside here will be copy into where? Copy into this variable here. So this variable can function by itself one. And what do I intend for it to function? I just want to go and tell the student manager, hey, you better start what? Get all student. See? Get all student. Right? But what I want to go and get all student, actually, right? I just want to actually here div message dot how come can't see? Oh, it's not div message, div test dot inner HTML. Then I just want to go and put an equal sign here. So what I want to do is that I just what dot to string to string. I also don't know whether to string can work or not. Right? Because by right, in order to go and show the content here, I should actually prepare another list to collect one. But due to lack of time, I just rebuild to go and see whether it can complain or not. Right? So when the page is loading, I'm actually just calling out. I just want to test whether this one is working fine or not. I just want to test whether this one is working fine or not. Okay? So I just right click on the view in browser. View, system, but there's no error, right? But there's a generate list. To string is like that only. So this is what the to string is. Thank you, friend. this is really not helping me to go and show. Okay, so what am I going to do? Woohoo! Wow, sian sian sian. Okay lah, it's not sian lah. It's that I need to go and build a list here. Say call, you want a student list? Yeah, I give you a student list. So, but of course not like this one. I need to go and give a list object. Then here I just go and give another student list. Then after here equals to what? New list the object. Then after here open close bracket. This is a new thing lah. Okay, right? If you are not comfortable using this one, never mind. Do 20 times. You sure comfortable one? Do you want to do 20 times, right? Okay, continue not comfortable. So this one is what? Student list. Yeah, student list coming out. Student list. Yes. Okay, I've already created. Then after that, I want to go and display inside the div test. I just want to go and know whether or not it's correct or not. So I just what? For each, again here lah, for each, then object, then after here I just put an O lah. I just put an O. In what? Actually for each object student better. Right? In what? In the student list. In the student list. Right? Do I need the what? Dot rows, dot this or not? No, right? You must understand that this one is just a list of objects. I've already mentioned here. This is the list of objects, right? This one does not look like this one. This one is inside the data set one. Okay, this one is inside data set. That's why this one is data row. Right? Get this one correct. Okay, so right now come back to here. So for each, then after I just div test dot inner HTML plus equal the student dot what? Let me see, dot full name, and then after that I'll just dot to dot. How come the dot full name cannot work? Accession missing full name, not accession. Oh, I cannot access it from an object. How come I cannot access it from the object dot get? Oh, okay. I can't do like this. So in other words, this one, can I use var or not? Can I use var or not? Then after this one, I just dot full name, right? Full name dot to string. Can I do that? Can I do like this? Let me see. Because this one is a generic object, that's why I got problem right now here. Student full name like that also cannot. Let me see. Let me see how to verify this one. I just need to come back to here. That's why I said that this one is a programming session sharing. So this one I'll just what? Access properties in a generic object. Then after I just put C#. Okay. Right. Because I'm not using a standard student class object. Get property from a generic. So let me see how it does. I hope it is something easy to do. Let me see. I person. Wow. That is definite. Access properties. Let me see this one. Entity T model entity move. No. Definitely not like that. This is way too complicated. I countable string, I file stream. No. Let me see. Accessing property from a generic class. Okay lah. This one is somewhat this one because I'm just testing only. That's why I'll just use this code here. Right. Then I'm actually going to paste it here first. I'm just going to paste it here first. Right. So this one is of course this one is going to become what? Student. Because it's an object. And then after this one I'll just put full name. Okay, I'll just put full name. Right. Then what about this one? This one is a property info. Property info, what kind of namespace can I use? Let me see. Using system.reflection. Okay. Right. Notice that I put using system.reflection. Then what about this one? This one I just put get value student. Yes, get value student. Right. So I got this. Where did I get this code from? I get this code from this Stack Overflow here. So I better Control Z. I just better try to copy this one, and I just here quickly put a reference. Normally this code is not going to be used inside the final product, but I need to go and test so I'll just use this one because I'm using a generic object. That's why I cannot student dot full name, student dot student ID, something like that. So this one is prop get value. So this one is the object value. So this one should be full name, right? Get value prop info from student. Then after this one, I'll just put full name dot to string. So this is just a quick test, right? Maybe if I want to go and get the what? If I want to go and get the mobile contact. If I want to go and get the mobile contact, so this one should be what? Mobile contact, right? Then after that, this one I should put mobile contact. Then you notice that prop info I've already declared once already. I don't need to go and declare again. That's why I can remove it. Okay. This one is just resetting it to another to point to the mobile contact property inside the generic object. Right. That is the disadvantage of not having a proper student class. Notice that right now a new item. I should prepare a student class here. See that here? Student class. Right? A student class here with the property get set. But coming back to here, that's not important. Right now, I've already prepared this code here. You can pause and take a look whether you got it correct or not. Right? It is just to go and test. It is just going to test whether or not I can use the get all student properly or not. So I just right click review, and then I'll just if I view in browser, because these code are placed inside the page underscore load. If I view in browser, wow, you notice that I can get all the information. Roger lah, Mary lah, Elaine lah, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. But I lost the mobile contact. Why? Oh yeah. Because this one I should put mobile contact. Okay, right. Then because if this one is the last line, right? So I'll just do a proper BR tag here lah, in order to go and make sure that everything. And then maybe this one, when this is the inner HTML. Oh, very sorry. This one should be full name. Then after that dot to string. Then I have to plus spacing here. Maybe a colon, just to be sure. So this one is just, and then after that plus. So this line is actually trying to go and access the full name property inside here, the full name property inside a generic object. And this one is actually just trying to go and access the mobile property inside the generic object, the mobile contact property. Yes. So after accessing already, I need to go and get the value out, right? Then after getting the value out, I just want to go and put it inside the div test to go and verify whether everything is working or not. So if I refresh right now, so you notice that I can successfully extract the information. What does it mean? It means that my get all student is indeed working, right? My get all student method is indeed working, but this is just for testing purposes to go and test. So this one is just what? For testing the get all student method only, right? This is just testing only. Okay, right? So after finish testing, meaning that it is time for me to go and say bye bye lah, right? Why bye bye? Because I've already done my testing to ensure that the get all student method is working inside this student manager class. Okay. Now right now, what I wish to do is that I wish to let the JavaScript to decide when to call the get all student. I want to go and let the JavaScript to decide. So how to decide? I need to go and prepare a page method here. So the page method actually, right, in order to go and declare a page method, I need to go and specify that this one is a web method. And you notice that when I put like this, right, it says that, what is this? So I said, if you want to go and use this, you better use this namespace called using web services. Okay, so you notice that right now web method. Then beneath this web method, I'm just going to put that this one is going to be, let's say, public static. Then after that, this one I'm actually just going to put, let's say, get all student. Okay, get all student. Right, so I'm actually just creating a web method here, right? I'm declaring a web method, and this web method, what I intend to do is that I'm just going to reuse some of the code here. Notice that this is the code that was used in order to instantiate the student class manager instance. Okay, right, so I'm just going to put here, and this is the code whereby I prepare an empty student list, and of course when I call the get all student method that belongs to a student manager, this empty student list will not become empty anymore, right? Obviously, just now we use a for each in order to just now in order to display all the information inside the div test, right? Right now I just want to go and return what? Return student list. I just want to return like that only. Okay or not? Right, I just want to go and return like that. Public static, how to go and return like that? So I was thinking that, wow, like that, how to return? Can I actually here put list? Right, can I actually here put list? Right, so I also do not know whether this kind of a return statement, right, will give any problem or not. Really, I also don't know. Right, I also don't know. But that's the purpose of programming, is that you just test. There's no perfect answer, what you need to observe. So I've already created a web method. And this one is the list of objects, and this one is get all student. So the next thing I will do is that I just right click and I just rebuild. Then after that I just go to here, and then I say, wow, what is this? Get all student, right? Get all student. Then I hit enter key. Nothing come out leh. I thought return something. How come nothing come out? So then after that I just right click and I just go to the tools. And I go to the JavaScript console. Let's see, got anything or not? Also nothing. What about the network? Syntax expected token. Wow, what is this? What expected token? Well, I do not know what is that, but we will just this is what expected token. What kind of expected token is this? Let me see. Is there a JavaScript error? Does not look like there's a JavaScript error, but you notice that this kind of a return statement, right, seems like it is not really working fine, right? Is it working fine? Does not look like it is actually working fine. I cannot actually return a list. So what about I return an object? Right, am I able to go and return an object? Let me see. If I actually that, then after that I actually just go and do a rebuild. Then I come back to here. I just what? Hit the, is it get all student? Let me double check. Get all student, correct. Okay. So I just hit the enter key. Right, what does it give me? Wow, uncaught syntax error, expected token. Wow, a lot of problem coming out. Okay, right? Problems are just waiting to be solved. Right, basically, right, I need it to go and get it to go and work with JavaScript. Right, in order to go and get it to work with JavaScript, right, I need to go and use the web method. So normally what I do is that when I come to here, I'll just go say jQuery, jQuery what? AJAX call. Then after that, I'll just put AJAX call, obtain list, obtain JSON, right? From what? From C#, From C# web method, something like this. So how to go and send and retrieve data from a web method? Wow, I just go through right? Because that is the link given, This is the link given. So I'll just click on it. Then after that, I'll just go through. See what is it. Oh, so this is the AJAX call. Afterwards, I probably need to learn how to use this. Then after that, this is the web method. Wow, what is this web method? String. Oh, I need to return a string. Then after that, I go through again. Right? Seems like that I have no choice but to return a string. Right? So this is actually something that I learned from the I learned from here. You notice that it says that I need to go and return a string. So maybe I just do one more search. Say that C# web method, right? Return what? Return a list. Right, then after I just put AJAX, something like this, because I'm using AJAX. Is it possible to return? Wow, you see, some other people also got think about this. Then after that, I just go down to go and take a look. Hey, you see, some people wanted to go and return something like this. Then after that, I've tested it, right? But off the top of my head, this should do the trick. Some developer also shared that, right? That I think it can be done. You see, some people actually said, I think it can be done. So let me see. What did he do? He just returned a what? A list, right? Let me check. So it's what? Public static list, then string, then something like this. Right. So this is actually what the person has done. Then another person say that it can be done. You see, wow. So this developer really I need to what? Thank the fella, right? If it's a lady, right, I need to go and give her 1 or 2 roses already. Okay lah, I won't do that lah. So if that's the case, right, means that I'm not going to touch this. Meaning that I need to go and come back to what? List. I need to go and return a list. Return a list of object, right? Return a list of object. Okay? Right, a list of object. So then after that, my intention is that I need to go and work on the presentation file now. Right, now this one was used for testing just now. I don't intend to use this one for testing anymore. Right. In fact, because there's nothing to do with any form data, I'm just going to delete all the form text away. So you notice that the body section here is all empty. What I intend to do is that I just want to go and have a button. Input type equals to how many? Button. Okay. Then after here, I just put an ID. ID equals to btn get all student. Right. Then here it should be what? Name equals to what? btn what? Get all student. Then after that, the value is going to be let's say get all students. So this one is the label Okay, so this one is the label, right? Basically, right, I need to go and share with you. It is the HTML and the jQuery JavaScript is the most important, right? Because whatever things you learn in the C# here, etc., and all this stuff, right, basically it's just a concept of using programming languages at the server end to apply the SQL on the database to retrieve the correct information and pump it back to the web page, right? So for me here, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going back to the presentation file, right? After I prepared this one already, of course I need to go and prepare a div. I just call it a div student container. Okay, div student container, then I just close it, right? Then here under the script tag here, I just need to go and put a script. Now I need to go and tell that when the document is ready, right, please, right, start applying some logic in order to go and please apply some. So this one is actually the document.ready, right? Notice that this starting bracket is actually for this one here lah. So in other words, I'm passing an anonymous function as an input. This is an anonymous function. What I'm highlighting here, they are all just anonymous function. So inside this anonymous function, I just want to say, hey, can you please find the btn what? The btn get all students, right? Just find the btn get all students. After finding it already, right? If ever the user do a click on the fella on that button, right? Please again apply this function. You see, no. Then after that, this one I'll just put something like this. So just now I saw the code that was shared by the developer. So these are the code. What I did was that after I've already created the event handler to handle the click for the button, I just paste just now whatever I copied just now. You may want to go and pause a while in order to go and have a look, but I need to go and change the URL property. So this one should be what? frm experiment display student data using what? Using AJAX technique. Let me double check. Is it correct or not? Yes, it is correct. Then this one should be get all student. Okay, so I've already done that. Then what about this one? This one is just saying that the information is going to be JSON. Data type, the expected data type return should be JSON. And data, do we intend to send any data across? Well, for this part here, no need, right? So I'll just give an empty braces here. Then what about this message thing? He said that can work. I'll say, wow, can work. Okay. Maybe I want to go and create this one is building what this guy here doing is that he's building a drop-down list. Right. So building a drop-down list, interesting. So I might as well just kill two birds in one stone by coming back to the presentation file. This is the container. This is the container, and then I just also put a drop-down list. What is a drop-down list? Select ID equals to what? DDL. Let's just say this one I'll just put student, right? And then name equals to DDL student again. And this one is basically just a drop-down list, right? So it can be anything, right? But it depends on what you want to show to the user. You want to show the student in a drop-down list, by all means. You want to go and show the student inside a container, like you want to go and show student information, show task information, show project information, show notification information, right? It's how you show and what you want to show beside the SQL, right? Here is all HTML already. So this one is what? DDL what? DDL student. Find the student and append a new option element having the message I. So my one is not message I. My one is this one is using this one, right? The person is using a for loop in order to loop through the thing. This one is using a for loop in order to loop through the thing. For me, right, is that I don't like to go and use for loop, right? But well, I'll just actually here just put let me see, for I equals to 0, then I must make sure that I must be less than the message dot. Okay, it is very dangerous for me to go and use this code now. Very sorry, right? Why? I forgot to demonstrate one thing on the success. This portion is on the success part, right? Success what? I need to go at console dot log what? Log the message dot d, because I saw the d that the programmer was demonstrating just now. See, there was a d here, right? So I just want to use the console.log in order to analyze this one first. Right? I don't intend to do anything yet. Right. So I will just right click, rebuild first. Rebuild the project. Right click on the project name and rebuild. Then view in browser. So I'll just click. Should be nothing happening. Why? Because just now I used the console.log. So I'm going to use the tools JavaScript console in order to, if I click on the get all student, how come there's nothing? Why there's nothing is because, is it btn get all student? Btn get all student. Btn get all student. So here is btn get all student. I call the ESPX get all student, correct? Yes, it is correct. Then function on success, I should do this. Error, I should actually just do a function message, open bracket, close bracket, and this one I should console.log the message also lah, right? Just in case if there's error, who knows, right? I also don't know. So I just refresh and I just click the get all student to see what has happened inside the network. You notice that did it return a lot of objects? Altogether, how many objects? How come network got return objects? Okay, if I refresh, you notice that right now network don't have, right? If I click get all student, click get all student, you see it has returned a lot of objects, right? You notice there's object 0, object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4. If I expand the object 0, let me use the let me actually try to use the zoom 8. Hopefully the zoom 8 works here. Okay, so if I come back to here, if I go back to the browser, I think the zoom in won't work because it clashes with my recording key, right? It clashes with my recording key. Now, so if I actually refresh, if I actually try to go and refresh the page, if I click, you notice that it returns a series of objects. Right. This object, if I expand, you notice that it is Roger, contact number, student ID 1. What about another one? Mary. So in other words, is my page, is my web method working? Yes, my web method is working. So it is returning me all these things. And all these things are returned, but somehow or the other, when I use the console.log, it does not really help me much, right? Console, unless I, is it console.log? No, should be correct, right? Maybe the, maybe this thing, maybe this thing is, let me try, let me see again. Right click, view in browser, right? And then this time I don't want to use the JavaScript console. I use the developer tools. Same thing, go to the console, I click, nothing happened. Then other network got, wow, resources also got, right? Resources also got. That's console don't have. Thank you so much. Okay, so maybe like for example I to string maybe because I need to what to string here. Who knows, right? Who knows? I also don't know. Right, so I just open bracket, close bracket. So you notice that in JavaScript to string is actually small t, right? I think I think. Okay, so I just console, right? I just nothing happened here. Wow. Okay lah, never mind. Right, maybe I just put okay, D, right? Then after that I just put. So I'm just practicing only. So this one I just put I want 3. Then I dot what? I dot full name. Right. Notice that I'm actually using the console.log. I said message.d3 full name. What does it give me? I know that 3 should be Elaine, if I'm not wrong. No. 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Should be Tom. Should be Tom. Why? Because this one is pointing to the fourth object. The fourth object. Let us take a look here. Fourth object should be what? Fourth object. Fourth object. So in other words, if I actually refresh, if I actually click get student, if I actually click get student, right? Is it showing Tom? Yes, it is showing Tom. So I'm just figuring out what is this numbering for, and D is actually the object. So and then this one is the full name. So in other words, I already roughly know, right, that if this one I can switch to mobile contact if I want to go and show mobile contact. So I've already got this. Then you need to go and learn. So this one is something that I've already experimented. So I'll just comment it out. I need to go and learn how to go and use the $ each, which is much more better, right? $ each, if I'm not wrong. Then after here, I need to go and put that I want you to work on the message .d, right? .d is the object. .d is the object. I want to go and you to work. Then what you need to go and work is that this one should be the index, and this one should be the item. This one should be the item. Then after that, opening curly braces again, then close curly braces, and remember to close the each. So this one is end of the $.each. Okay. Then inside here, I need to go and specify that. Okay. So in other words, what if I console.log? Then I show, let's say item what dot item dot let's say full name, right? Full name. So what am I going to expect? If I actually try to refresh here, if I actually click get all student, you notice that I'm able to extract all the important names. Right? So you notice that JavaScript, what is happening here? The JavaScript, when I click on the button, right, it is actually using the AJAX in order to what? In order to post a request to this get all student method that I've already coded inside the code behind file. I've already coded inside here. right? So I'm just going, then it will return me something, and if it's successfully returning something, it will end up here, right? You see, let's just say that, right, that inside here, right, I purposely I purposely do something wrong lah. I purposely, let's say that return student, how to create some error here. Oh, in order to go and create some error, very easy only. I just go to here, right, and I just purposely put I just reduce one space here. Notice that right now the space, I just purposely kill the space here, right? This will confirm generate error one, right? Then after that, I just right click, I just rebuild, okay? Right, then so I'm just reducing the space inside the SQL. Then I come back to here, I try get all student, you notice that right now it got error, got this 500 internal error. See that or not? Yes, this 500 internal error. Then what is this error? I can actually I can try to know. You notice that the error, the response, you notice the error is what? The error object is actually trying to tell me that the error is residing inside the response text. Invalid column name. So that's the error, invalid column name. Oh, it's response text. Okay. Because of this response text, right, roughly, I know that in order next time I want to go and see the error easier, I can hear what? Message dot what? Dot d dot response text. Okay, maybe like this. So if I refresh, then I try to go and see whether I can see the error or not. Response text. Oops, sorry. I think it should be like this. Response text. Okay. Let me actually refresh. So if I click, so you notice that this one is the response text. The response text is actually trying to show you that this is the message, right? Invalid column name. Oh, response text dot message. Okay. So this one is response text dot message. Okay. So then I refresh. Then I just click. So this is undefined. Well, I think this is the maximum I can go in order to go and show the respective error which is generated at the server side. So I click student. You see, it says what? It says that invalid column name. Of course, invalid column name because your SQL already way wrong already. So right now, I fix back my SQL because that one was generated to allow you to know that that is what the error here is for, is to actually show the error so that you know whether your server-side code got any error or not. You must check whether your server-side code got any error or not, right? So then what I need to do is that I need to go back to my student manager.cs. Inside the SQL here, I need to change back. So I add in the space. Okay. So right now, this one here, right, after playing with all these things, right, it's time for me to go and have a look at the presentation file. Inside the presentation file, of course, I'm not going to use the console.log to show to the user, right? It should be something like I have the div student container here, right? So what I will use, normally what I will do is that I will actually here $, I will create a div, and in order to go and create a div is something like this, $, create a div, then I'll just close a div. So right now, am I creating a div? Yes, I'm creating a div element, but inside this div element, I want to append. Append what? No. Let me see. Better don't do this one first. Very sorry. I need to go and $, create a span, right? Create a span. Okay. Then of course I can close the $. Okay. Right. After I've already created a span, right? I need to go and append. I need to go and is there a val here? Oh, no need val. HTML? Is there HTML? Okay, that's HTML. So inside this span, I need to go and provide item dot full name. Okay, right. So I've already created a span. After I've already created a span, I need a variable called, let's say, the full name element equal to. So basically, this variable is actually going to represent the new span tag that is going to store the full name. Then this one, I'll just put mobile contact. mobile contact element, right, equals to what? Dollar sign what? Dollar sign. Then after this one is what? Span, and this one I say that HTML item dot what? Mobile contact. Okay. Then maybe I would like to also show the student ID. So this one is what? Student ID element, right? Means that the element that is going to store the student ID. So this one, I'm just going to here dollar sign. Then after that, I'm just creating a new span. And this span, I will try to .html means that provide the information called item dot student ID. It's all case sensitive. Why? Because this was how it was prepared down here, right? You can attempt to go and change if you want to, but most likely after that I'm going to use this thing, right? I want to go and create a final one, which is a div. I want to go and create a final one called the div, right? This one is a div. This one is just a normal div. And then I'm going to add what? I'm going to append the student ID element first, right? Then after that, I will append again. I will append again, right? Append what? Append the full name element. Then I will append again. Append what? Append the mobile contact element. Right. I also do not know whether this kind of append here. If I append this one, then append again. A chain of operations. I also do not know whether this one can work or not, but who knows? Then of course this one append, right? Then this one is what? Div student row, because I'm creating a row. Then no, this one is a student row element. Let me just create a student row element. So this one is just the part of the row, and then the main row, right, must be a div. Then finally, right, I just tell the jQuery, hey, can you please find that just now that student what? Container. Careful of the spelling, right? Then dot append again. Append the created student row element. Okay. So if I actually right now click save, and of course before that, right? Before that I should do something else. I should actually Control C. One moment. Control V. I should HTML clear the div student div container. Let me see. Div student container. Oh, it's an ID selector. Remember the pound sign. Right. You notice that this one is just finding the element, but this one is actually creating the element. This is how you create an element using the jQuery method. Okay, right, creating the element. So if I right click, if I do a quick rebuild, blah blah blah. Actually, no need rebuild because I'm just modifying the JavaScript. Then right now here I do a quick refresh. So I'm going to click get student. How come I only got one? You notice I only got one. Why I got one? Div student dot append. Why I got one? And the browser is showing what? The browser is showing Royston. Oh, sorry. Because I clear inside the loop. Of course, I should not clear inside the loop. I should clear it outside the loop. I should clear outside the loop. Before the loop starts, I should clear it. Right, I refresh. So I get student, you notice that everything is here. So what if I heard that here my style tag, right? My style tag. That's why I say that styling comes later. Styling is the last thing to do already. So this one, let's just say this one is what? Cell. Right. So So this one, right, this one is called data cell. So data cell, right, I just put, so this one is C dash data cell, means the hours one. So this one, right, I just put padding, right, padding, I'll just put 2 pics. Then after that, font family, I just put, let's say that Arial lah, right, Arial. Then for the font size, I just put 1 EM, okay. Then of course for the border, I'll just put 1 pic, maybe like for example solid, and maybe this one I'll just put a simple DDEE, something like that, okay. Then what about the row, so .c data row, for the data row, this one is for the div lah, right. So this one I'll just put maybe I'll just put padding of 2 pic also. And then after that, this one maybe the margin I would like to go and put it as 2 pic, 2 pic, 2 pic, 2 pic, okay. So this one is how skillful you are in the thing. Then for the background color, right, maybe I'll just put, let's say 98 EF67, okay. Then here, of course, besides append, right, I can actually add class, add what, HTML, okay, add class. What kind of class I want to go and add? I want to go and add, like for example, C dash what, this one is what, data cell, right? This one is data cell. So you notice that it's quite a clean code one. It's quite a clean code in terms of using the jQuery. So this one I just put add class, this one add class the C cell. Then, but for the row, for the row, confirm it's not add class cell. It is what? Add class C data row, if I'm not wrong, right? C data row. So is it C data row? Okay, right. So this is actually the final. Maybe I need to, I push it down a bit. Okay, right. So this is actually the final code lah. Then I will try here, refresh. Then I click get out student. You notice that from here, right? You will notice that that yes, my div is really containing all the cell. And if you take a look, right, the div let's just say that the div, right, maybe the div data row is probably because my div container here, right, the width is very high. My div container, the width is very the wide. So I will just actually here just tell that, hey, the div container, your width, right, can you please stick to, let's say width, let's just say that 45% can or not, because my data is not to say that big. Right, then I will just try to go and here refresh, click. So you notice that this is the end result. So was there any refresh? There was no refresh, right? There was no refresh. This one is actually just basically when I click on this one, it just do an AJAX call, right? Then the results was obtained from the page method. It was obtained from the page method here, right? This get all student, and then we use the JavaScript in order to go and populate into the correct segment, that's all. So what about the DDL? This one, the select one is just like that only, no? $sign, then here find the DDL student, okay, find the DDL student, then after that append the let's just say this one I want to go and create the $sign. So this one I'm using a shortcut because I think I'm quite tired already. Then after this one option, so this one I just append the option. Then after appending the option, at the same time is that I need to add, I need to go and provide the value. I think it's value. If I'm not wrong, it should be value. Then this one should be what? D dot. This one should be the item. No, item dot. Let's say full name. Okay, full name. Then after that, remember to close. This one is for the. This one is for the bigger picture one. This one is for the bigger picture because I'm appending the whole thing into the drop down list. Okay, this one, this thing, right, is just basically for the option element only. I think like this should be okay, but because I never play with that one. So right now this one nothing, right? So if I click again, oh, I did not refresh. Okay, so if I click again, let me see. How come? But seems like got thing yet, like nothing leh. You notice that this one seems like it's not dot. It's not dot value, so it should be dot HTML. Is it? Maybe. Let me take a look at his code. His code here was actually using option. Oh, he used this kind of a technique. Actually, he used that kind of a technique also can, but I just don't like it. I just don't like that technique. So I try this one again. I refresh. Then I click the add student. I see. So you notice that I was able to go and display all the names inside a drop down list, but there's no refresh. Okay, right? So this is actually very simple. So that's why once you so what have I done when I was doing things right? First I test the SQL. After testing the SQL, I totally focus on the student manager. After I focus on the student manager, I tried to go and create a web form that uses the page load. I use the page load and I instantiate the student manager class to test out whether or not the student manager class is functioning properly or not. Right? But all my mind is that I know that it is JavaScript job in order to display things. That's why you notice that this one is removed, because this one is using the C# code to display things. It is using the C# code to display things, but I'm not using the C# code. I want to use JavaScript AJAX technique because it provides the user experience of no refresh. So this one, then after that, I started to go and apply this one. But when I apply this one, did I have problem or not? Yes, I got problem. I practically need to go and refer to a very useful page shared by this gentleman here. This gentleman really saved me a lot of time, right? This gentleman here. So I must remember to go and actually quickly provide a reference here, right? Reference, right? So that I can remember what I've done. Okay, right? So this is actually the end of the programming sharing session on how I use the AJAX technique to go and pull the information from the database, right? But the AJAX technique, right, did not directly pull by using sending SQL, right? No, it was actually using the get all student method. But this get all student method is the one inside this web form here, right? The code inside the get all student will be using this one, this class here. This class here will be doing all the heavyweight lifting, right? So that is something. So you can try to go and practice, and once it's not enough, you should, like this one is actually using a student table. You should try out practicing on the course table, or probably you should try out using two tables, right, to go and show by showing what from student, then after this one course, then after that this one is what where the course, where the let's say student ID student dot course ID equals to course dot course ID. Then after here, I want to go and show the course name, right? I think got course name if I'm not wrong. Got course name or not? Let me take a look. It's called course name. Okay. So if I execute this one, right? So you notice that. So let's just say that I want to go and show something like this inside the web page. That's why you must know what you want to show inside the web page. That's why you must test your SQL first, because the code in between, right, they are all reusable as long as you know where to change. Okay, you must know what you want to show to the user. You must know what the user need to how the user need to interact with the web page. The JavaScript will do the job in telling which C# method to extract this information and update the web page. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.